All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is from ABC, Orkambi Bay Community Private School. Sent up a weather balloon with a stuffed dog, stuffed animal. And I want to show you that from the ground to the edge of space, ladies and gentlemen, when they finally gets into where you would consider space or outer space, and you look around, I want you to look around and see that there are no satellites, there is no evidence of any space agency. There's no space debris glistening off the sun, and you'll be able to see the sun clear as day. There is basically nothing to say that any country around the world has any space agency. And this is basically my proof. Here on the ground you have the community down below, and I'm going to start this, and I'm going to put it probably mostly from ABC News. It's going all the way up, and I'll just let the whole thing play out. So you saw that it started off in a normal spot. Now you can see over the city where it was launched. I'm sorry, this is by Orkambi Bay Community Primary School, not private school, my bad. So that's it, probably about 500 to 800 feet, about 1100 to 1500 now. And the dog is the focal point. Oddly enough, there's a shift, there's another shift. This weather balloon is rising almost faster than almost a rocket can propel it. I'm surprised they don't use this as a primary in their space agencies. Oh, wait, never mind. Alright, so we know that they probably got clearance to do this, and if they send up a weather balloon, which is what this is supposed to be, basically the airspace has been cleared. Now the airspace is being cleared, that's fine, folks, but when it gets up a little bit higher and it looks down, you can see that there's no satellites. There's no space debris glistening. There is nothing, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit higher still. And what I want to show you, you don't see anything. There you go. There's the sun. Yeah, I'll pause it here. Okay, let it come back around a minute. Alright. Well, you didn't see any sun or any satellites or anything else glistening in the background, ladies and gentlemen. So even if this was, say, 70-some thousand feet, there's still no evidence that there was any major space debris or anything else. And I'll play the last part one more time for you, just so you can see as soon as it allows me. And if there were all the satellites and things that are supposed to be in orbit, all the space junk, etc., when it gets up to this focal point, probably about here, and you saw that sun above you, folks, and you saw, basically they're using a fisheye, so that's why you see the curvature. Other than that, here we go, this is a good pausing point. There is nothing in the background, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you know how I am. I base everything off of physics and everything else. We're supposed to see the ISS from space. We're supposed to see everything else from space. And we're supposed to be able to see the ISS and most of the larger satellites and various things with binoculars and things from the ground if it's overhead. On a no cloud day, well, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how much you put this into perspective, you're not going to see any satellites here, and I realize it's not high enough for the satellites. But basically, if you look around long enough, folks, you'll see that there were no glimmers of any satellites, no glimmers of any technology in the air. And even when this dog is looking up, like that, right there, you don't see anything glimmering in the background. You could say that the sun is, keeping all the light on Earth, and it isn't allowing much to escape, and it isn't giving much to the background. You have to be further away from the Earth to be able to see the stuff, and you can claim everything and anything, folks. But this was from a primary school who sent up a weather balloon, ladies and gentlemen, into the edges of space, probably under the 79,000 mile range, whatever it's supposed to be. And they were able to reach it. If this video is in any way, shape, or form authentic and has not been tampered with, in basically 2 minutes, 10 seconds to the edges of space, folks, with a weather balloon. You might have another 20 miles before you hit the areas where the satellites are supposed to be. They're going to tell you any number of things. What you need to understand, folks, is that very much, if there was any of that out there, any of the times this dog was rotating around, you would have been able to see it. And the very fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, you were not able to see it. Why? Probably because there's nothing to see. So here's another video of a space glider. Basically, somebody put an FPV plane on another weather balloon and they sent it up. I'm starting at about 1 minute and 1 second before, and I'm going to stop it at about 3 minutes 40 seconds or so. This is all under education, so you know what is going on. As you can see, the the rig is floating around due to all the currents and everything, so you'll have a much bigger and much better horizon to see. And this is about where the in the other video we were probably at. This is more than likely about, I'd say, roughly 60,000 feet, probably about 55,000 feet. And I know they're cutting in and out, but you can see this is probably about where the other device was. And as you look around, folks, there's nothing there. There's no satellites. There's no space agency. There's nothing. And I mean, you can just see this tilting back and forth, back and forth. And you can see, folks, there's hardly no fisheye lens. I think he did use one, but it comes out better here. And you can see, alright, they broke the cable, so now it's plummeting back to Earth. But as you can still see, folks, there's nothing going on. He has complete control, and there's no space agency. There's no rockets. There's no satellites. There's no defense satellites. There's nothing. For miles and miles, there's the sun. The only thing you see, ladies and gentlemen, is the sun. You don't get to see the moon or anything else. Why? My guess is there's nothing to see. You're telling me that if you go up there, basically up here, and you keep going up, that you'll be able to see it? I don't think so, folks. I could be absolutely wrong, but as you're looking around, folks, what do you see? Nada. There should be something. There should be space junk floating around. They claim via NASA, EU Space Agency, and more that there's lots and lots of space junk. What do you see? Nothing. I'm going to stop it right there, because basically there was nothing to see. These were two independent videos that showed no evidence of glimmers in space of technology floating around or flying around under man control. There's no glimmer of space debris. There was nothing. There's only one source of light, folks. That'd be the sun. It did not look a million, or was it supposed to be 93 million miles away. You couldn't see the moon for some reason. Oh, it was on the other side. Yeah, okay. And there was no satellites. There was no space debris. There was nothing. I didn't like it either. But this one allowed you a lot better image to float around and everything. So what does this tell you, ladies and gentlemen? What does it honestly tell you? What? That magically they move all the defense satellites, and every single country around the world cleans all of it up because somebody sends a weather balloon up? I highly doubt it. That you don't see anything glimmering off in the distance miles above? Because what? Because when someone sends up a weather balloon, they magically make it all disappear? No. I'm telling you, folks, one of two things is true. Either there's absolutely nothing up there, which is more than likely, or that they can only keep satellites up there so long and got to bring them down. Now, here's my theory with that. There should have still been, pieces of solar dishes and some of the materials used floating around just a little bit. I mean, what, 20 different countries have satellite capabilities, and all of a sudden there's nothing going on when you send up a private vehicle? I highly doubt it, folks. In fact, I almost doubt it absolutely. Two independent videos, one from a private school, one from an FPV hobbyist, showed the exact same thing. Space agency technology does not exist in space for whatever reason. Now, if you got to get that far away where you see it, we got to get like 20 miles plus away where you see the stars and everything else, that's one hell of a situation, but you should be able to see something. If you can see the ISS from the ground and certain satellites overhead at night, when you get into space, there should be visible signs that you can see while you are in the stratosphere, leaving the planet and going up. And there was not one star. There was not one glimmer. So I hate to say it, folks. From my end, it's busted. So this is our No Space Agencies, No Satellites documentary. Ladies and gentlemen, for America 2.0 documentaries. And as always, you decide. As you know, there was no space technology anywhere in the videos. We showed 2 independent films. Neither one of them had any space-related technologies in the region of space that they were in, and absolutely no signs thereof. Thank you. There's no space debris glistening off the sun, and you'll be able to see the sun clear as day. There is basically nothing to say that any country around the world has any space agency. And this is basically my proof. Here on the ground you have the community down below, and I'm going to start this, and I'm going to put it probably mostly from ABC News. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is from ABC, Orkambi Bay Community Private School. Sent up a weather balloon with a stuffed dog, stuffed animal. And I want to show you that from the ground to the edge of space, ladies and gentlemen, when they finally gets into where you would consider space or outer space, and you look around, I want you to look around and see that there are no satellites, there is no evidence of any space agency. It's going all the way up, and I'll just let the whole thing play out. So you saw that it started off in a normal spot. Now you can see over the city where it was launched. I'm sorry, this is by Orkambi Bay Community Primary School, not private school, my bad. So that's it, probably about 500 to 800 feet, about 1100 to 1500 now.